is Bitcoin going to zero? You may have heard this recently in the news, people speculating after the rapid declines of Bitcoin that this could be just the start of a complete disintegration, meltdown of Bitcoin to going to zero, or perhaps even minus if we include exchange fees, wallet fees, and conversion costs. Well, this is all very possible. I will explore this today. I don't necessarily believe it's going to zero in the immediate term, but it certainly has potential to vastly reduce in its proportion of the crypto value of all crypto chains, and doing that becoming worth a lot less. My main reasons for this is that Bitcoin has failed to become a decentralized asset, and now if we look at search of the biggest holders of Bitcoin, they are centered around what they call whales or sharks, a couple of central holders, whereas the retail section or the everyday person, everyday man, has a very little, a very small fraction of the total supply of Bitcoin. Something in the region of 98% of wallets, I believe, have less than one Bitcoin, to give you an idea. So, in contrast, 2% of holders will have over 98% of the supply. So it's not something for the average retail holder, the average person. Even if you do invest in it and make a slight gain, it's trivial in comparison to what the main marketers of this crypto asset will stand to gain. And you'll just be used to prop up the supply and to buy into the various marketing campaigns as they look for a new buyer. And that's the only way it goes up, of course, is when you get a new buyer with supply and demand. They're always looking to bring in and to attract a new buyer to dump their crypto at a favorable price. Now, actually, one of my main thoughts and reasons why the Bitcoin will go into decline is that it just failed the average person of becoming something for the common person to have. As I said, the biggest holders I see are a company, MicroStrategy, which has its biggest investors are huge American investment funds, from what I see, that speculates, markets Bitcoin, and only stands to gain if the price goes up, and risk complete failure and perhaps bankruptcy if the Bitcoin price crashes. Exchanges, major exchanges, they hold Bitcoin as custodians. The US government, from its seized Bitcoin, and the Chinese government have a substantial amount of Bitcoin. So it's become a club that the average person has no interest in joining, unless you want to be alongside BlackRock, MicroStrategy, the US government, the Chinese government, the anonymous creator, whoever that might be, is not willing, it or he or she is not willing to say the purpose, the vehicle, why it was established. You're buying into something where there's a lack of transparency. So for these basic reasons, besides delving into other risks with the large corporate ownings of Bitcoin and the possibility of them having to sell their Bitcoin, which could cause a crash, I just see that it just hasn't lived up to being something for the average person, and there's going to be a vast change to other crypto assets as people catch up and go, no, they don't want to be part of this club that consists of these players that they're actually looking to get away from originally, and they'll switch to one of the thousands of other cryptos that are less been less captured by these big fish. Does it have the potential to go to zero? If it's completely abandoned. So what you'll have is, if the retail investors abandon it first, then the corporations abandon it in order to pay off debt, then the sharks, the whales, and even the founder, and then it stops being mined, and that's when we can see it kind of crash down to dollars, to cents, and to minus. But look, it could be minus on your account if you owe your account fees, your custodian fees, or things like that. That's how it's possible. Obviously, it can't go to unless there's a tax being implemented by government. There are indications or possibilities where it could go to a minus. So as you see, it's already halved, and sure, it can recover, but ultimately there's going to be a transition and a runaway and a run out of this to something else. That may be another crypto, it may be just something else, or it may just be people are tired of crypto. But this thing is not attractive for people anymore. Just on another matter, so my main website, thelasteuropean.com, it's a geopolitical website, but I also cover topics like this from time to time to give insights on economic issues like this. So feel free to go to my website at thelasteuropean.com, and I do give these kind of tips from time to time, amongst other things.